Hey guys, it's Kay from KS Anonymous, and I am back today with another episode of r/Entitled People. I left it for the cleaners to sort out, even though the litter was from a different store. So here's my official Reddit post. A couple days ago, I'm at my security desk on my shift for Tesco. To all you Americans, it's basically the UK version of Walmart, minus the firearms and ordnance. So I'm sitting on the cameras and this lady comes in. She's in a bright orange dress, wearing a lot of makeup. Not really a Karen, more like a soccer mom that's a little less plastic. Anyways, she proceeds to walk through and go to the fresh produce aisle, fruit and veg specifically, and engage in conversation with a middle-aged man. Now, mid-conversation, she goes into her canvas bag and proceeds to just put plastic food containers, punnets for tomatoes, grapes, and a mesh lemon bag just on top of a certain group of fruit. Now, I'm watching this and two things are running through my head. One, she's some white privileged bee that assumes that people will clean up after her. And two, if they don't, she is just littering on private property. As security, food waste is a health risk as it can eventually, if left unchecked, bring about diseases and pests. Mind you, these containers had residue from fruits and crumbs from pastry, so it was a problem. I then spring into action and go to the produce aisle as she continues around the store. About 10 minutes later, I'm at my desk again, and she's coming round from the tills to exit the store. At this point, I get up, walk in front of her, and say in the most polite voice possible, "Excuse me, ma'am, I believe you forgot this in the produce aisle." In a very cheery customer service voice, to which she replied, "I left it for the cleaners, it's their job." Now at this point, my opinion of her is dropping fast, so in a brilliant moment of spite and frustration I said, "Well ma'am, with all respect where it's due, it's the cleaner's job to clean up spillages and waste produced by in-store factors. You have brought these from outside this store, therefore it's not their responsibility to clean it, rather it's mine to give it back to you to put in the bin." And her face dropped. "You're just a grunt. Tesco hired you to clean up after me." She then says, in my face, with a sneer. Whilst this is said, a manager comes along to check and asks if everything is alright, to which I cut the Karen off by saying, "Everything's fine, this customer just forgot something is all, and I'm guiding her to where she needs to go." The manager knows this customer is being a jerk, but knows I've got it handled. Usually I just bite my tongue and live it down, but not today. So after she leaves, I say to the customer, "Now by law, littering on private property is a criminal offense punishable by fines up to £1,000. So I'll ask again, did you forget your waste?" To this, she snatches the packaging from my hand and shoves it in the bin literally behind her. She says, "Couldn't you have just done that yourself?" With venom, and to that I cheerily reply, "Yes. However, it's not under my contract to clean up after customers that blatantly disrespect the facilities provided to them by the company. Remember, you're always on CCTV, so we have proof of your actions should you try to escalate this. Please enjoy the rest of your day." I return to my desk, and she storms off in a huff. As retail security, we shouldn't, but it was completely worth it in my eyes. Hope you all enjoyed. In security, we get a lot of entitled people coming in thinking rules don't apply, so if I get 500 upvotes, I'll post another story, because I'd rather know it's good before putting in time to recount another. I almost feel like there's more effort in bringing trash with you, and specifically putting it on items in a store than it is to just throw it in a bin. Now, but the bins are right there. Like, I understand, like, some places you have to take your trash home, but obviously they have trash bins there. Like, what are you doing? Like, couldn't you have thrown it away in the first place? Like, I don't know, maybe that's how she fulfills her life. Maybe she was on a power trip. I don't know. Give me money. You're part of my existence. So recently there's this distant relative of ours who was driving our family nuts. He kept calling once or twice a week asking for money. My parents were slowly losing their minds, but they wouldn't give in. It's crystal clear from his frequent posts of fancy restaurants and parties on his Facebook page that he didn't need money. He was just calling us to get more money. He may have stated that he's family, but my parents only met him a couple of times and I've never met him in person. After an exhausting phone call from said family member, my mother sat down and rested. Now my evil little mind started working. Sass was my expertise, and I wanted to help my parents get rid of this jerk. I remembered a couple of phrases that my distant relative always repeated during his frequent phone calls to guilt us into giving him money. After a while of thinking on them, I told my mother these comebacks, and she brightened up. All week, I waited for my entitled relative to call again so I could see how my comebacks would fare. When he did, my mom put him on speaker so I could hear every word. This is how the conversation went. M is my dear mother of mine, and ER is entitled relative. "Hello, M. How are you today?" "Fine, thanks for asking," she groaned. "Listen, because of this whole situation, you know that some people need money, I was wondering if you could send me some money, because you're living in a different country with more opportunities." "I told you, ER, we are not sending you any money. God knows what you'll do with it." "Don't you want to give money to the poor people? Don't you want to help your family?" "As far as I'm concerned, all my family lives with me, and none of them are in financial need." "But, Em, you were a part of my childhood growing up. You were a part of my existence. Without you, I wouldn't be who I am today. Couldn't you send some money for your favorite relative?" My mom replied without missing a beat. "Who are you again?" Then she hung up. I was treated to ice cream and a delicious dinner for my comebacks. This moment may not have been long or that entertaining, but it is my pride and joy, the epitome of my sass accomplishments. And the best part, he hasn't called back since. I would not be able to handle dealing with someone from, I barely knew from my family in another country begging me for money just because, even though it was clear that they misused their money anyway and they don't actually need money from you. Like, what the heck? So, I mean, being rude and kind of being sassy in return is 100% warranted because it's absolutely rude and disrespectful to harass people for money in the way that this guy has.
"You go find me one."
"Ma'am, that's not my job." I was working the open shift as a front desk agent, so I had a couple hours to myself before my coworker or manager came in, and then the checkout rush would begin. My hotel had about 250 rooms and about 20 luggage carts. There's a small stall by the front desk that holds 4 carts, and we occasionally keep a few more in the lobby for easy access. They cannot be reserved, and my hotel does not have a bellhop or luggage handlers. Checkout was 11 a.m., but guests would start to head out around 10, and we would be out of carts by 10:30. Most guests see this, and I'll let them know where they can find some, and they move on. I say most guests because a woman who I will call Gail found this unacceptable. Gail came around the corner and found the cart stall empty. She turned to me and asked where all the carts had gone. "It's prime time for carts, so they're probably in use or down in the parking garage."
"Well, I need one now. It's 10 minutes till 11 and we need to check out."
"You may find some down in the parking garage or just outside the elevators on any of the other floors above us."
"So you expect me to run all over this hotel searching for one? I'm not doing that. If we're not out on time, we better not get charged. This isn't our fault."
"That's not my expectation at all. I let you know where they may be to narrow your search. Also, there will be no late fee unless you are still in the room at noon."
"You go find me one."
"Ma'am, I'm not allowed to leave the desk."
"Make someone find me one then. Where's your bellhop?"
"We don't have that service. I can see if a house person is available, but that's not their job."
"Call now. It's not my job to find one."
"I will. I have to send an electronic dispatch and they can take a while. What is your room number so I can have it sent to you?"
"No. Call now. They can bring it to me here."
"This can take a while."
"Call now."
I insisted that she give me her room number, and I eventually called my housekeeping manager, who was sitting through a door 10 feet away from me. The call was for appearances, and after I hung up, I told her to go back to her room. She huffed at me and wouldn't budge. I started to ignore her because I had sent the request, and that was as much as I could do. She finally left, and my house person came to let me know that Gail was a patronizing bee when she dropped off the cart. It was unacceptable to wait so long for a cart, even though the house person went down a single floor to the parking garage and got the cart just like she could have. I was quite glad to have only dealt with her upon checkout. I feel like maybe if you're paying a lot of money for a fancy hotel, I guess you have the right to be a snob about some stuff. But I'm assuming a place that doesn't have these services mentioned, you're probably not paying for the services mentioned and don't really have a right to like boss other people around to do it. Like, entitled mother and entitled son tries to take my order at Domino's. Hey, long time reader, first time posting. English is not my first language, so I might have some minor mistakes. Cast OP, me, male 23. B, bro, a close friend. EM, entitled mother. ES, entitled son. And DE, Domino's employee. So this happened 8 days ago, and it happened here in Oslo, Norway. I was finished at work, and B picked me up for some catching up and to have some dinner or night meal together because we did not meet for weeks due to COVID, and I am a healthcare worker, so yeah. He was in the car and ordered 1 large pizza, 2 sides, dips, and 2 sodas on my mobile via the Domino's app, and then we just were driving around and chatting till the food was ready for pickup. 5 minutes before the pickup time, we parked and went in to wait, greeted the cashier, and I was just looking at the order on my phone, nothing special. There was a man in Domino's waiting on his food, and then EM and ES waiting on food too, or so we thought. 3 minutes after arrival, the Domino employee says, "A large Tennessee barbecue chicken pizza, 5 buffalo wings, 16 Parmesan bites, garlic dip, and 2 sodas is ready." B and I stand up to get our food, but EM and ES went before us and was taking the order from the employee. Excuse me, I think that is our order. Maybe we have the same stuff.
No, this is ours. We paid for it, and we waited longer than you guys, so it has to be ours.
Do any of you have the receipt or the order confirmation?
No, because it was on my father's phone. We just came to collect the food.
But OP got the receipt on mail and the order on the app. We showed the employee the order and the name. Sorry, but it says OP on the pizza box and the sides. This is not your food, ma'am. Maybe yours is next.
No, this is what we ordered on the app. Give me the sides and the sodas.
Didn't you just say that your husband ordered this? How do you know what was ordered?
I know what my husband has ordered. Give us our food.
At this point, the son looks like he was about to run out the door and away from his mother. You can't take the pizza if you don't have the receipt or the order on your mobile. It's policy.
No, this is mine.
It clearly states OP's name, and he has all the proof. If you don't stop, I'm calling security.
Fine, I will call your main office about this, and I will tell them you stole food from me.
The woman was staring at B and me going out the door. Yo, sorry guys, can you wait 5 minutes? I'll tell the kitchen to make some cookies for you as an apology for this. No, it's fine, bro. Wasn't your fault. We were happy. We can eat now. No. Please, take it as a treat by us. So we got 2 free cookies, our entire order, and we went to a nearby bench to eat the nice food from Domino's. And I don't know why or how these entitled people thought that was going to work and that they'd get free food. Thanks for reading. Have a wonderful summer. So people were commenting that this is a common thing. People just walk up and take people's food. That is concerning. That would really annoy me. That would really get on my nerves to see people literally stealing the food that someone else paid for and you like made as an employee and stuff like that. Ugh. Well, at least you guys got your order still, and the employee gave you guys some cookies, and the people trying to steal food did not manage to do so. Anyway, that is going to wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and drop a like and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Really quickly, I would like to thank my patrons. Up on the screen, you should see my face palmers and my crazy K's. Thank you all so much for supporting me in that way. If you are interested in becoming a patron, checking out the original posts from today's video, or sending me an email for possible inclusion in a future video, all of that information is in the description box, so be sure to check it out. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!